To promote my new flower shop, I had one place print my business cards, another print my brochures, and a third, my signs. Now my roses aren't red, my violets aren't blue, my geraniums look dead, and I don't know what to do.
Staples can help your business stand out with signs, banners, and brochures that are a true reflection of your company. And now at Staples, spend $50 or more on print and marketing services and get $5 off your next in-store purchase.
Now my business is blossoming, and I'm spending less green.
Exclusions apply. In-store only. Ends 6/23/18.
Yo.
Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the war room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the hot block commander. How you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Roll with the topic, sort of like the rebels when it's game time. They like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th and 26th, so the war in Kuwait. It's the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated.
What's good, War Room family? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dev McMillan. I'm in the building with my brother B. Austin. Jimmy the Blueprint will be with us in just a minute. Look, man, the NBA Conference Finals are underway, and the draft lottery order has been set, so basketball is still heavy on the menu. So settle in, get your popcorn ready, keep it locked right here. And if you want to get in on the conversations, you know what to do. Make sure you join us. And hopefully the homie Skyview1 is usually holding it down in the chat room. You guys can hold it. Y'all can hold it down with him as well in the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/the War Room. Or you can join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly in about 5 minutes when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline. That number is 323-410-0012. Last thing before we get it popping, make sure that during the week when we're not live on the air, you check out our archived episodes of our show at warroomsports.com. The War Room Sports mobile app, that's free on Android or iOS, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, and a lot of other places that you do your podcast listening. Just give it a try. What's going on, B. Austin? What's the deal, yo? All right.
We are everywhere. We are everywhere. Good
yes,
people.
We are. Look, but my question to you is: you think we can get through these 2 hours without, somebody from the mountains calling the police on us? Or like I don't know. It seems like they all about calling the cops on the bruh man these days.
Yeah. Listen. Let me tell you something, you need to be happy that you're allowed to be in this great America. Stop complaining. Stop bitching and moaning about racism, white supremacy, and all. You have jobs, don't you? You have clothes. You got food to eat. You're all right. Stop complaining.
We even allow you on the radio.
You had a black president.
All right, I'm gonna stop complaining then. That's a late one, but I'm gonna stop complaining. If they if they call the police on us, we'll just have to deal with the police and speak to the police nicely so they won't shoot us. Anyway,
I got a question. Huh? Hold on, a question for you. Is all of this stuff, is it more frequent, or is it social media catches it more? That's a great question. Think about it. I'm interested in your opinion.
I'm not naive enough to think that it's more frequent. I just think we're living in the era of transparency. Whether you mean for your stuff to be transparent or not, we're living in the era of transparency. Everybody is a filmmaker. Everybody has the capability to, everybody's a photographer as well. So everybody has and photography is late. Like taking still pictures of stuff and posting that's so old. Now everybody, like nobody even calls the police when things are happening anymore. They take out their phones. They set up the set. They call action, and they sit there and roll them while something terrible is going on. Nobody even calls the police. So we're living in the era of forced transparency. Some of it not so much, but
No,
I'm not naive,
Never.
good brother. I don't think it's more frequent right now. Just think that we got
I
a million Scorseses
I
out
honestly
here.
don't know
They catch
the answer
everything.
to that question. I'm not going to say that it isn't happening more frequently now, considering who is the president and who's in power. I really don't know the answer to that question. It could be that because of the cameras rolling, we just catch everything, or it could be that a little bit more frequent because we're not as far along into our post-racial society as we thought.
Well, I would even be willing
Is
to bend a
regression.
little and say, of course, maybe it's a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we do, we've talked about this before, and some of the other stuff out there, like we felt since our current president has been in office that certain things have become more frequent. Not that wasn't the ingrained thinking of everybody. It's just that people weren't so brazen about it. And now that he's given them the power, it's a little bit more in your face. So it's maybe a little bit of both. But it's there. It's rooted. It's definitely rooted. So, yeah, it's been a good week of sports. NBA playoffs are in effect. We definitely going to talk about that. Give you guys some in-depth analysis of what's been happening in the conference finals. The NBA draft lottery just happened, and we're going to spend most of the second hour of the show giving you what I like to think at this point is our annual discussion on whether or not the lottery is rigged, what proof we may have, and, we'll just go from there. So let's get it started. Let's get it popping with some hot topics, and hot topics are brought to you by MyBookie. We got to talk to our brothers over at MyBookie now that sports gambling is legal. Like, how's this going to affect us and our numbers and our business over here? We'll see. And we'll also talk about that for a minute as well. But for now, I just want to talk to you guys out there a little bit about some scratch and how much of it you can make betting on sports contests at MyBookie. The NBA and NHL playoffs are still chugging along, so if you haven't checked them out, this is probably the best time to do so. You can lay down some dough on the biggest games in sports. Join us and thousands of other online players placing bets at mybookie.ag. You're tired of getting the runaround when it's time for a payout? That's why we urge you to join MyBookie. No ass betting on their end. You win, they pay very fast and without any hassles. You're wasting your time investing your money anywhere else. They even have in-game live betting so you can place wagers after tip-off,
so you can
kick-off, face-off, or whatever. So if LeBron takes the elbow or the shoulder to the face early in the game and, you still haven't placed a wager on the game yet, you can bet that LeBron might quit a little bit. So you can, you can do that in your betting. You can place your bet. So look, join now, and MyBookie will match your first deposit with a 50% bonus. All you got to do to get that is use the promo code WARROOM. That's all caps, WARROOM, and that'll activate the offer. Visit mybookie.ag today. Play, win, get your ass paid. All right, so look, the conference finals. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about them issues. As you all know, out there we have on the western side of things, we got the 2-seeded Golden State defending champion Warriors versus the 1-seeded Houston Rockets. And then on the eastern side of things, you got the 4-seed Cavaliers going up against the 2-seed Boston Celtics. So the Western Conference it's interesting because a lot of people look at this series, especially going in, as the quote-unquote NBA Finals. You know how we, with good reason, we kind of disrespect the Eastern Conference, especially now with the run and the reign of the Golden State Warriors. So you kind of figure whoever they're playing in the Western Conference is probably going to be a better matchup than what we see in the NBA Finals. But sports fans have slept on things before, so we don't know what Cleveland and or Boston might have to offer in the next round. But for right now, we have a 1-1 tie. The pom-poms are ready to jump out there, jump off that bridge after game one when Golden State handled the Rockets pretty easily. The Rockets came back and returned the favor in pretty easy fashion in Game 2. So from what you've seen, B. Austin, what are some of the differences from both teams from Game 1 to Game 2 that basically led to a Warriors blowout in Game 1 and flipped to a Houston blowout in Game 2? Like, why was it so much different?
Game 1 showed you why the Warriors are going to be the NBA world champs. How can you be the National Basketball Association world champs? But they're going to show you.
The American world champs.
Game 2 showed you that Houston isn't completely some hoes. And they made necessary adjustments. Namely, they moved the ball around. They moved the ball. So in Game 1, it was all high pick and roll. James Harden, get out of my way. And all you extra dudes, if things get tight, I'll pass you the ball and you shoot. But for the most part, I got this. 10, 15, 16-second dribble.
I saw the exact same thing, B. And I thought James Harden was auditioning for filet videos all night.
One.
Because he would stand up at the top of the key and tween, literally, until it was 2 to 3 seconds left on the clock. And then he would either pass it to somebody for a pressure shot, or he would do his tactic, step way back dribble that you don't think is a travel, that I do, and shoot the shot. The good thing about it, the only thing about it in Game 1, he was actually making the shot. So there was nothing to tell him besides the fact that they were getting the doors blown off of him that wasn't working. You know what I'm saying? He figured if I score off of it. Right. But when I pass it to you dudes, you miss the shots. But you're passing it to him with 2 seconds left. And I don't know if you remember, but that's kind of what I say about how Cleveland plays, because, you have the myths out there that LeBron James, because he's a willing passer, a lot of people think he's
that
like
he's not a
to
ball.
play with. But LeBron will destroy the ball as far as pounding the ball until there's maybe 6 or 7 seconds left in the shot clock, and then starting to his move, which either ends up in a drive, a pull-up, where you always know it's going to be a pull-up if he waits longer than 6 or 7 seconds because, he doesn't have time, which to me, like, if the defenders are looking at the shot clock on the other end of the court, his game is kind of predictable. But it's like, if I see this, how come they don't see this? Anyway, if he goes into his move,
he's that good.
7 seconds left, he's either going to try to get to the hole or he's going to kick it out to somebody. But he's putting these role players in position, just like James Harden, to shoot these pressureful shots on every.
We're going to get the brother hairline, man. We got to talk about Houston. We're going to get the brother hairline.
No, we are. That's why I brought it back to James Harden. I said, just like James Harden, he puts these pressureful shots on these role players. And then when the role players don't hit them, the casual fan and the casual talking head on sports radio and TV, because they've become way more casual than fans these days. The cowherds. Then it's PJ Tucker. It's PJ Tucker's fault that he's PJ Tucker. Like after you done dribbled all the air out the ball, now you give it to PJ Tucker, and when he misses, y'all want to be mad because PJ Tucker is PJ Tucker. Come on, fans. Now for the last 15 years in the NBA, we've come to the notion that the star player always has to take the pressure shots. But when the pressure shot doesn't come at the end of the game, people don't realize that they're pressure shots. They're still pressure shots because they're at the end of the shot clock every time. So these guys are feeling that pressure, like, I have to knock this down or we're going to lose a possession. It's not working. Yeah, so I saw these adjustments. So game 2, I think that what the coaching move was, let's move the ball around more as a team. But then I saw James Harden going earlier or calling for the pick earlier and going to the rack and a little bit more than just stepping back. Tweens early. Up at step back. He was tweeting at 16 instead of at 6.
Yeah, and then a pass, but it wasn't always a pull up or a layup. It was dribble, drive, and pass, or dribble, drive, and kick, and it resulted in a less pressureful shot. I like that word, pressureful. I think I'm gonna borrow that. A less pressureful shot for PJ Tucker. So then PJ Tucker said, "F you, Dev. You ain't never seen me knock these down. Well, F you then if you don't believe in me. War Room. I got game. I'm PJ Tucker."
All right. Let me stop you right there because the listening audience might not even have caught what you just said when he said, "Deb, you don't think I can knock these down?" This is a fact, and it remains a fact even last night after PJ Tucker allegedly went 5 for 6 from the 3-point line. I watch a lot of Houston games. I've watched them all throughout the season. I have never once in my life. I've seen him take plenty. And I always ask my brothers, why does PJ Tucker continue to take threes? I never checked his percentage.
He shoots
while
37%.
I've never checked his percentage while saying this. I asked him this question because when I watch Houston games, he gets it kicked out to him, and he continues to shoot threes. I have never in my life, and I've lived a long life, and I watch a lot of basketball, I have never in my life saw PJ Tucker make a three-pointer. Now, before y'all say, "Oh, are you crazy? PJ shoot," like B said, 37%. I'm not saying it's PJ's fault because, I got a lot going on down here. I got multiple screens. I'm watching different games. I'm turning my head. I'm going to get a grub. I'm a fat boy. I go to get a lot of grubs during sporting contests. I go to the bathroom a lot because I grub and drink a lot during the sporting contest. Not alcohol. I don't do that. So I swear PJ Tucker must do all this 37%ing while I'm either in the bathroom, going to get a grub, looking at a different screen at a different game, turning the channel to see what else is on. I have never been, and I swear to you, last night, it wasn't even turning the channel. This was the only thing I was watching, but the only thing was I was exhausted. So I'm dozing in and out of sleep. And when I'm up, I'm texting in the War Room Sports Game Time group app, and I woke up. And PJ Tucker's
this dude is making an excuse. He's making an excuse to not hear my man PJ get off.
Listen, though, this is last night. I woke up out of a doze, and PJ Tucker's celebrating, and the announcers, who are terrible, by the way, are talking about how he is 4 for 5 from 3 and PJ's on fire. And I'm sitting here like, come on, man. I didn't just miss this man hitting threes again. And then I go into the group chat. Jimmy's like, "Dev, did you see your man? He just knocked down a couple threes." And I know they thought I was lying when I was like, "Yo, I really didn't see that." Like, PJ Tucker must be my basketball version of J. Cole. Shout out to J. Cole. I'm a fan. But it's a running joke in our circle that J. Cole is like sleepy time music because he's a little bit boring, even though he's lyrical. Kind of puts you to sleep. I think PJ Tucker's success might be my NBA version.
Put you to sleep.
He puts me to sleep.
Yo,
so
you miss PJ Tucker. It was the PJ Tucker show. It was damn James Harden. No, James got off.
Allegedly.
But damn Chris Paul and the rest of them dudes.
I can't believe it was PJ Tucker. Allegedly.
But I think here's the problem as we move on from PJ's game that Dev did not see, even though he saw the game. The problem is this is not the way that Houston wins. Now, they are professional NBA basketball players, so for a game, or maybe even two, they are skilled enough and have the talent to change the way they play, but eventually they're going to deviate and go back to habits and go back to the way they're used to playing for the regular season, and it's not going to work against Golden State. And Golden State has this thing where – I do know, but go ahead and fill the people in.
It's going to be easy to fall back into those habits, which you and I could say are bad habits, but they don't. Mm-hmm. They probably don't get told much that they're bad habits because y'all won 60-something games.
Their coaches
in the NBA. Right. But they had the number one record in the league, so there's really nothing out there that can give them 100% confidence that what they're doing is bad basketball, besides the fact that doing it in game one against this team didn't work. So, I mean, you say they can do it for a game. I say they have to do it for at least 3 more games if they want to win this series. Because if they go back to 20, step back, ain't nothing down there. What you looking at? If they go back to that, the series is going to be shorter than
that's what it's going to be, and it's not a knock. It is. I mean, I'm a fan of watching James Harden on the offensive side of the floor. I mean, the way he plays is what we all go to the basketball court. We from Philadelphia, and we from the hood, and James Harden's game fits into our childhood. Like, that's what we want to do when you go to the playground. But it's not going to work against a team that has 5 all-stars and like 7 shooters. Like, that's not going to work. Right. So Golden State had a bit of an off night, and the thing that I noticed about them is they pack it in real quick. And I'm not going to call them cowards like they're running from the challenge, but they're like, look, it's a long series. Y'all got this. It's cool. We're good. Y'all can have this game because we're going to come back and we're going to see what it's really hitting for in game 3 and see if you can keep this up. Because if you can't, we can score 30 to 35 points in a quarter, 6 quarters straight, 7 quarters straight. What you want?
This is a team with 4 all-stars that can beat you when 1 or 2 of those guys aren't even having a great night. And it's not just 1 or 2, just regular guys. Like, on any given night, there could be a 2-time MVP on this team that's not getting off, or a 1-time MVP on this team that's not getting off, and they still can beat you. So if you're making it easy for them on the defensive end, because they are a good defensive team, but everybody knows that men running cannot outrun the ball flying. So if you're passing the ball and you're moving the ball around and you're not just giving them easy targets to defend, while he's up there tween, everybody just stays on their man because they know either the pass coming or the step back is coming. You know what I'm saying? You can stay home on that, and even if James Harden goes for 40 points, you can still get a fairly easy win over the Houston Rockets if you're the Golden State Warriors. I'm not saying that for anybody else. So, the
other thing that really does well is defensively to step up. And there really is no answer for Golden State because you cannot double team a specific weapon. You can't take away any one thing without giving up 2 or 3 more. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like have 1 or 2. Realistically, Golden State has 9 starters. They have 9 starters. So when you go to the bench, it's like you got a guy like Nick Young, who he's a head case, but Nick Young is a legitimate, can give you 20 points a game. Yeah, he's going to give you 20 points a game twice a week. And then you have Sean Livingston, who is, to me, the best post-up guard in the NBA. So it's like, it's pick your poison, man. Andre Iguodala is, they have so many weapons. They come in waves. So for me, again, that win is a testament to Houston being a pretty good team. But they're not going to play that way for the rest of the series. They're not going to beat Golden State. Golden State is going to win in 5 or 6.
And shout out to Scott V1 in the chat room, holding it down as usual. He said, we mentioned how they were moving the ball, and he said these cats were moving the ball, and Houston was actually playing defense. And they have a high defensive ranking in the league. A lot of these teams where their offense is the main event, you forget that they can play defense. But especially, they play good team defense because they have some good individual defenders that are going to mask the deficiencies of their stars. And I say stars plural because even though they like to put Chris Paul on these defensive teams every year, I just don't see it besides from a steals standpoint. I don't really see him being that kind of dude on the defensive end. So yeah, Houston, they gotta try to play that way for another 3 or 4 games. What's up, Jim?
Let me ask you a question about your assessment of Chris Paul. You think that's a recent thing, or you think he's always been overrated defensively?
No, I think he's always been pretty overrated. And I'm not saying he's terrible or he's a liability. He's not like James Harden level or anything like that. But you can't hide that. Like, you're not going to get on, even if they're overrating you and your superstardom is getting you on these teams, being just terrible is not going to get you on these teams. But I think Chris Paul is just an average, maybe a little above average defender. And he definitely, throughout his career, could get to those passing lanes and get steals, cheating off a little bit and doing his little dirty things sometimes, kick you in the nuts and then take the ball from you. But where he's been throughout his career, offensive team, nah, never thought he was that kind of defender.
I want to stay on Chris Paul for a second. Pause that. Because I had an interesting conversation with somebody today. It's funny, like, talking to Luke, because Chris Paul is a weird player where I see some people say what you just said, but think it's overall overrated. And then some people think that he's one of the top, 3 to 5 point guards to ever live. So, where do you think Chris Paul ranks all time in terms of his
all time? The point guard, you mean? Just overall?
All time at a point guard position.
I mean, without thinking too heavily, he has to be somewhere in the top 10. Like, I used to hold the torch for Darren Williams when they both were good together. There was a time when Darren Williams was better than him, but his fall off was so steep that you can't even mention Darren Williams in these conversations anymore, even though I just did. So all time, Chris Paul definitely goes above that.
I remember talking.
I would have to put him in the top 10.
About. It's crazy to back that, considering the way their careers went. And I wonder how much it has to do with the fact that when he was playing out of his mind, he was playing with Jerry Sloan and his system. But anyway,
and you know how I can sum up the respect that I really do have for him, Jim? Because as much as I talk about his overrated defense, as much as I talk about his barber and needing to be shot, as much as I talk about Chris Paul trying to act like he's tough all the time and maybe a little bit dirty, when I had a son and I started to get him into basketball, even though LeBron was his favorite player and Steph was one of his favorite players and Westbrook was one of his favorite players, I always made sure I told him to watch Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? Because, y'all know ain't no way I'm going to bless the shorty with height. So you're going to play point guard your whole life. So watch this dude right here. So that's the respect that I have.
You hit it. You hit it with the Larry Brown joint,
Chris Paul.
Play the game this way.
Right, exactly.
I think
there's point guards who are probably better and more flashy and can do more things. But as far as pure goes, he's the best of the generation. No doubt.
Someone that
I think he's great.
5 of all time.
I think he's great.
I don't know.
I think he's an all-time great, but I don't think that he's top 5, and I'm questionable on top 10 because here's my thing. I can give him his due as a great point guard, but the fact that this guy has not had playoff success, I mean, sometimes I blame it on the team, but when you're top 5, top 10, you got to transcend some of that, man. It's like I don't want to hold him 1,000,000% accountable for the fact that he hasn't had playoff success, but some of that got a lot lay with him.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially, he's not like a freak at his position. He ain't like some 6'8" point guard or anything like that. So being a normal-sized point guard in today's game, even though they're saying this is like the era of the point guards, I think it's the era of good point guards, but I don't think they're the ones that's carrying you through the playoffs. You know what I mean?
So be awesome, right? I don't even know. I was thinking about this. I'm going to go my top 5 of time at this. I know my top 3 are probably Magic, J. Kidd, and Isaiah.
Same here.
That's just me personally. All right, so outside of that, now when I get to 4 and 5, it's like, all right, because of my beliefs, I can't put Stockton up there. So I think Steve Nash
Yo, overrated.
I think Steve Nash is completely.
No, but the funny thing is, B, I don't think Stockton is overrated, and I don't even think that's what Jimmy's saying. He's just saying because of his beliefs, he can't put him there.
No.
Stockton might be everything he's advertised to be, but we don't want to hear that.
Yo, that's exactly what I'm saying. Without saying it. But anyway, so like when I get past those three, it's like, does Chris Paul make the five? Like, all right, now you start bringing in guys like at that point you bring in who? Who comes in? The 4 or 5.
What about Black Jesus?
That's true. So you got to start thinking of guys you haven't seen play.
And you know what? I used to
Oscar.
not look at Oscar as a point guard, but
Oscar
was a point
guard.
Yeah.
Oscar's
so you
a
got to
point guard.
put
so
dudes like that in there.
Okay,
but that's when it gets. But B, that's when it gets difficult for us though, because we know the records. We've seen some footage, but we really didn't see those guys play. So I mean, being the historians that we are, of course we could put them there. But if somebody was to take the question a little farther and say, okay, name me the top 5 that you've seen, Chris Paul would have an argument. Like you would have to consider him in that 4 or 5 spot somewhere. Even if you don't put him there, you would have to consider him at least.
Penny got the leprechaun syndrome because Penny was on his way, but right. Leprechaun series says Penny can't be there. So
I think Chris Paul on my list might go higher than Steve Nash, even though he won 2 MVPs.
I agree. I agree with you.
As far as playoff success, what is it? So they're in the same boat. Big team.
I look back at some of those Hornet teams and wonder how he got beat out of them because, they were. I also agree with what he often says. Some of the blame has to go to him the same way blame goes to Melo and guys that haven't been able to get it done by themselves. So it's difficult, but it's weird though because talking to people who love hoops is like it's hot or cold with Chris Paul. It's not like a consensus of where he is, and I just thought that was interesting. I want to get you guys' perspective.
Well, let's get I was about to get another opinion. I thought the homie Tobias was on the line. He must have got that whip cracked on him. He had to get out of the stairwell. He had to get out of the stairwell on his cell phone. Hey, Tobias, man, we tried to come to you, so call us back if you can, if you're not bleeding to death. Let's go to the Eastern Conference real quick then. So let's go to that matchup with the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think Boston, a lot of people are going to try to play the genius role like they knew all of this was going to happen, but I think Boston is still surprising people. And even though at this point, really, all you really can say is, okay, they've done what they were supposed to do. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals. They've won the first 2 games on their home court. So I think before people get too out of hand, they have to look at it that way because last series when they were playing against the 76ers and went up 2-0, it was the same story. But once the Sixers blew that Game 3 late in the game and they took the 3-0 lead, then that's different. I'm like, okay, you're stepping into a realm of things that in a quote-unquote perfect playoff world, this isn't what you're supposed to do. They're supposed to come back and maybe win the 2 on their floor because if you look at their first-round matchup, nobody won a game on the road. So they won 2. People probably got excited and then the Bucks came back and won 2. And then, it went like that. So you still have to consider that Bucks series. You know what I'm saying? If the Bucks came back and did what they did in their home gym, you have to expect LeBron James, who's been to 7 straight NBA Finals in the Eastern Conference, to have something for the Celtics at home. Now, when they win a 3rd game on Cleveland's floor, then I think it might be panic time. What have you seen in the first 2 games of this particular series?
What's interesting to me is this. It's something that you mentioned on the Sixers series that I still see happening in this series. It's like you mentioned as we were in the chat during the game that, teams go on runs or do something. Boston always has an answer for everything you throw at it. They seem to find an answer. And they're still doing that. Like LeBron was hitting double threes the other night, falling out of bounds. My man had like 25 in the first quarter and 4. like Boston has an answer for everything. And what's also interesting to me about this team is to watch them have the confidence they have in the way they play it reminds me of a lot of teams I see throughout time in sports, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, where they get into the playoffs. That first series is like they grind it out, and somehow they catch their stride, get confidence. Because think about it. If they keep walking past Cleveland the way they have, like Milwaukee will be their toughest series at 7 games, which is crazy. But it also is because of how their trajectory is going. Like they're getting hot and confident at the right time. So that's interesting to me. Brad Stevens is still back there, doing his thing. Al Horford at this game. Al Horford is one of those guys he's always been a good player.
And he's one of those guys, Jim, that answers stuff. Like Al Horford has an answer for everything you do.
Yeah.
Al
Horford is like a Al Horford is like a disrespectful 14-year-old teenage daughter. He got an answer for everything you say to him, man.
He always talking back.
Shout out. Yeah. He always talking back. He's not scared at all, and he don't even have the talent.
That come from experience.
Allegedly. I am, listen, for all of the people that are acting like they're not surprised that Boston is here, they've quote-unquote, air quotes, done what they're supposed to do in winning those 2 games, but none of us saw this coming. None of us, and even if they don't win this series, as a Sixers fan, I am petrified because my man Tatum does what he wants. Yo, I wanted to ask y'all, does Tatum remind y'all of Paul George a little bit? Like, when I see Tatum play, I see Paul George. Like, he's so, like, he's big, but he can handle like a guard. Like, it doesn't look like a forward handling the ball. His moves look like a guard who's too big. And, he is nice.
I've never thought of it that way, B, but when you say that, I can see what you're saying. The only difference I would say right now, and this will come once he has, some more skin in the game and they trust him a little bit more, he'll probably handle the ball a little bit more. Right now, he gets to show you his handle when he gets ISO'd up. It's not like, Paul George will bring the ball up and play the point guard role when you need him to. With Tatum, he's basically going to show you some moves when he gets ISO'd, and his jump shot is getting better. Like, everything about him is getting better. He looks like he puts in the work, definitely. So, you think about and you think about the years to come. You think about the guys that they don't have. Like, they could have a very good problem next year and just bring everybody back and just be the deepest team in the Eastern Conference and have a bunch of guys who can average 20, averaging 10 and 11. And then
this isn't a shot.
You could look at a place and but B, you can look at areas on your team where they might think they have some deficiencies. And a guy like Gordon Hayward, who barely got to step foot on the team, is expendable now. You could trade Gordon Hayward and get something crazy back for him. You could throw Gordon Hayward up into a trade to try to get Anthony Davis or Kawhi Leonard or somebody like that.
What's really interesting is how me and I was criticizing Danny Ainge. I had no idea what he was on the team. He was just stockpiling picks, like he was collecting like they were football cards. And then with the Kyrie move, a couple other moves, everything just fell into place. And it's like, he looks like a genius now, although I still maintain.
That's what I was saying. I'm going to give him his props. I'm going to give him his props. But I think
the one thing I recognize about sports
that 4-leaf clover that's on their logo, that's real for him. Dude gets lucky.
And the one thing,
but I'm going to give him his props.
One thing, think about this. The Celtics have had luck all the time. I mean, think about the luck of Bill Russell and all the guys. They had tons of luck. The fact of the matter is, even their last championship, Doc Rivers is on his way to getting fired and never being able to coach again until the Big Three came, which was lucky. But anyway, we're not gonna get.
He became one of the greats.
One thing I recognize is when you read a lot of books of the greatest coaches of all time, and this transcends sport, most of them admit that. Listen, as fans, we want to be analytical and look at everything. That we're looking at the guy test. All great coaches that I've read, memoirs, all that, luck plays a huge part in sports. Everything happening at the right time. And that's kind of what happened for Ainge Celtics, because I definitely was critical of what he was doing, but everything seems to fall into place. Right. And even with the injuries, I think long term this is to be a great thing for him, like you said, with these guys having to step up. And Tatum, I'm just intrigued with Tatum in general, Paul, because that whole story with him and LeBron is just like mad interesting to me. About him being a LeBron fan, going to LeBron's camp, and like having pictures with LeBron when he's 8 years old, and now like people going at LeBron's neck like, yo, it's for a chip. It's just weird. Like anyway, it's like
he's like
Disney,
Larry Hughes' nephew, and Larry Hughes and LeBron used to play together, so you know he was able to meet his hero back then. It is crazy when you see stuff like that.
Him begging LeBron for a follow on Twitter, which I just saw today, which was hilarious, and someone dug that up. Like it's just interesting now. Like, yo, this is your idol, and now you're going at his neck like he, you know. I respect that because you see.
So when he begged you for it, he had to throw the old picture up there to let him know, like, yeah, we really do know each other.
Now,
now
you busting LeBron's ass, and LeBron is scared to defend you. Yeah,
he got a shot.
And the thing about it is he's so young. Because I mean, he's like 1 year dude. He's so young that first of all, this whole story became a possibility. But also, I see everybody saying.
First of all, I don't even think Bull done growing. Bull might be the 6.
But Tatum right now, he's one of the main reasons making Danny Ainge look like a genius. And I stand by my inside information that when they traded the picks, when they traded the number 1 pick to the Sixers last year, Danny Ainge was 100% surefire going to draft, what's his name? Josh Jackson, that's in Phoenix now.
Yeah.
That was his draft pick until that little thing happened when they were going for the last minute. They were flying to Sacramento for the last minute talk and workout before the draft, and he canceled on them while they were in midair. Danny Ainge was pissed. And when he took Tatum, Tatum started balling in the summer league, and Danny was like, "Oh, this is the guy we wanted all along." FOH Danny Ainge.
No,
but I'm going your problem because it happened.
Came out and started letting them sprinkles go. That's what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's funny. Exactly. It's funny, B. Austin, because you said something that's like pretty much a consensus around like sports. Is that they're so young, they're going to be reckoned with forever, and like part of me believes that. I also have this thing in my head that I probably should write sometime what I call my Dan Marino theory. Because I will never, as a little kid, when I first got into football, and watching Dan Marino in the Super Bowl, and they lost, and I believe it was the second or third season. I think the second season.
So he was going to be back every year.
Yo, I will never forget the guy during the game saying, "We'll see you back for years to come." I mean, with a talent like this in the second year, for sure he'll be back here. And doesn't know how that plays out. But, I mean,
right.
Because of that, you just never know. You just never know how things play out.
People think
you never know, and that's a wisdom. That's a piece of
early don't mean
That's a piece of wisdom. But my man had to go to war with Super Duper, so you know they didn't give my man. I don't even give my man the tools.
That far. Do you remember a couple years ago when Miami won against KC, and the people then said the same thing, like, oh man, Durant, Westbrook, and Harden, which could arguably be 3 MVPs at the end of this year. People were like, oh, they'll be here again. This is probably ain't a box. Like,
yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
different
true.
points.
Maybe not wrong.
They're going to be back, all right.
They're going to be back.
I saw someone on Twitter.
Not together.
I saw someone on Twitter the other day and said, wouldn't it be a great super team? Harden, Westbrook, and Durant. And people were like, yeah, that would be a great super team. I'm like, that happened. You know,
people forgot.
But some people commented, they literally forgot. A lot of people literally forgot that already happened. You just never know. You just never know that. What if Danny Ainge pulls the wrong,
whoever wrote that tweet was not born before '92, and they stupid.
No. The person writing the tweet was being a smart ass. It was the comment on the tweet.
Oh, they were being sarcastic.
They were being sarcastic.
Okay.
But some people who commented was like, "Yo, that would be dope." They actually forgot. And I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I mean, I know, but I figured at times too, like, yo, they all were in the same team or the team at the same time. Like, but anyway,
right, so
the point is,
before
you pull the wrong trigger and trick the wrong person.
What are the odds to you guys that LeBron James and Cleveland lose Game 3 in their building? Like, what are their odds of losing in your eyes?
30. I give them a 30% chance. 30% chance they lose.
I would give a 35% chance because the only way I can see them losing is just like they go on a huge run and the Celtics like have an answer and then they just quit. So I give it
that kind of seems like what happened in games 1 and 2 because the games would be nip and tuck for a while and then
they ain't gonna do that at home. They ain't gonna do that at home. They ain't gonna do that at home, though.
I mean,
the Cavs ain't gonna do that. They got more pride. They got more pride.
I'm gonna give them a lower percentage than y'all. I give the Cavs a 12% chance to lose in Game 3. If they lose in Game 3, the series. Come on. Winning.
We the greatest Poma stat dudes ever. We the greatest Poma stat dudes.
Give them a 12% chance.
It's 12%.
12.674.
Why not 13?
It's not quite.
In that case, I'm gonna give them a 38.9%.
It just never. All right, so stat of the week. It goes back to the Western Conference Finals. I'm sorry, and I haven't checked the chat room in a minute. Skyview was saying when we were talking about the point guards, he was saying Magic, Stockton, Isaiah, and Kidd are his top 4. 5, he said Michael Ray Richardson. 6, Kevin Johnson. 7, Chauncey Billups. Kevin Johnson was my idol growing up, Big Kev. No way I'm putting him in the top 6 point guards of all time.
Yo.
And Jimmy can attest to that. I wore Kevin.
His top.
I mean, because we had our team shoes were Nikes, but my practice shoes were Kevin Johnson. And I was too cool to wear Converse. I liked Kevin Johnson that much that I wore Converse to practice. And that tells you how big of a fan I was. But nah, I can't put him in my top 6 ever. 7, he put Chauncey Billups. Shoot yourself. He might agree with you. So shoot yourself. 8, Gary Payton. 9, Steve Nash. 10, Motique. Chauncey Billups over Gary Payton.
Nah, his list is weak. Listen, I'm the biggest. I'm Chauncey Billups' agent, and I think you should slap yourself.
Like I take shots. I like Chauncey Billups, and I take shots at Chauncey Billups just because I know how much B likes him. But shoot yourself.
That dude ain't a top 10 point guard, yo. You crazy.
He said to you, you can't say. He said CP3 is not in the top 10. And he said we can't say Horford isn't talented anymore. He just looks like an athlete. He just doesn't look like an athlete. That's all. Yeah. Chauncey, Michael Ray. Michael Ray, we know what.
Michael Ray is worse than Chauncey, though. That's even worse.
Yeah, Michael Ray.
Yo, what was you looking at?
Yo, he must know him.
Yo!
That might be Skyview's homeboy. Hey, I'm put you up in there.
I forgot about Gary Payton, but I mean the fact that I can forget about him because
Yo, do you realize that he named that whole list? He named that whole list and didn't name Oscar. He didn't name Oscar.
I know. And we know Michael Ray Richardson played point guard, but I would think that his primary position was shooting guard. So I'm really not trying to put any tweeners on.
So would Michael Ray.
But even if he was a point guard, like Michael Ray Richardson, he ain't top 10 point guard of all time.
Yeah, Michael Ray Richardson. That's interesting.
But you know what, though, fellas?
This
is the epitome of sports and everything being subjective. We can't tell that man that Michael Ray Richardson ain't the 5th best point guard he's ever seen in his life. That's what he saw.
I'll tell you some people. I've seen Michael Ray Richardson. I think Rod Strickland was better than Michael Ray Richardson. Not to mention Tim Hardaway.
Yo.
But Chauncey
here's something else I've been seeing a lot. A lot of people already got in their top 10.
Who?
Steph.
Who? Oh yeah. Shoot, some people got Steph in their top 3.
Yo.
Some people drawing it all the way out. Steph the greatest.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, and I ain't gonna hold y'all.
Here we go.
No. Yo.
Get your phone.
No, I love the dude's game so much. I just don't say anything. I don't even
You're like, I might be thinking it. I just don't say it.
I just don't say it. Yo, Steph puts me in a position where I just get quiet as a church mouse because I don't want y'all to clown me.
No. But here's the thing, though. I'm not even gonna go in. Yo,
but the thing is, I wouldn't be crazy if Steve Nash has a case.
Right?
Steph don't have a case of being better than Steve Nash.
That's one of my arguments is that Steve Nash is closer to us than he is to Steph.
But hold on. Here's why I'm not going to criticize you. I'm gonna tell you why. I gave you my top three.
Oh.
I gave you my top three without question, right? Which is Magic, J. Kidd, and Zeke. But if you ask me, right now we're drafting, you can have them in their prime, you can have Steph or Zeke. I had to think about that. And I got Zeke ever.
Yeah. The knock that Steph has is he doesn't average enough assists to me, and that's because of the system he plays in. And he will turn the rock over a little bit higher than the guys in your top three. Like, he gets a little careless sometimes with the turnovers for the sake of making a pretty pass. But, it's kind of like I'll compare it to hip-hop.
My man is going to take his favorite. And
I got to show you. I got to tell y'all something real quick, though. I'm watching something. It says, Louis Riddick, top 5 QBs in the NFC East. Carson Wentz, number 1. Alex Smith, number 2. Nick Foles, number 3. Dak Prescott, number 4. Eli Manning, number 5. Somebody getting disrespected, man.
Eli got 2 chips. Eli King in New York. Peep this though.
He got Nick Foles number 3 though.
Hey, Skyview, if you can put your favorite in the top, right, and not your best, but your favorite, I'm gonna do the same. So I got Andre Miller top 10. My man, basic game Andre Miller.
Andre Miller,
he's underrated. He's underrated. But it's like when people say that Black Thought is the greatest rapper ever, I don't be arguing. I just don't say nothing. I won't argue. I'm not arguing that. I'm not, because I ain't arguing against him.
All right, don't be open.
I won't do it.
Because that conversation can go for like 45 minutes. Yeah.
My leprechaun is black. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, listen, stat of the week real quick before we roll on. This is
officially we don't even get no more.
Yeah,
he's a 2 guard. He's a 2 guard. He'll tell you himself, Jimmy, he'll come on the show and tell you, I was the killer. I was the killer.
And I think he did say I wasn't a point guard in that conversation he was having with them young boys at the table.
Yeah,
they were eating.
Yeah, I'm the killer.
Somebody tried to put him in there. He was like, no, I wasn't a point guard. I was the killer.
No. I was the killer.
All right, so stat of the week. And it has a lot to do with what we talked about earlier, being the difference from game 1 to game 2. And when I said tween like 45 times, I wasn't exaggerating, because we have nerds out here who count this kind of stuff. So the stat of the week is the total amount of dribbles in game 1 of the Western Conference Final. James Harden took 550 dribbles in game 1. Steph Curry, Durant, and Klay Thompson all together took 549. So he took one more dribble than their top 3 players all together. And we saw what the outcome was. So without tween, step back. When he slowed that down a little bit and they moved the ball, they had more success. So we can't have a stat like this again if we expect to see Houston in the NBA Finals. 550.
I want to go into the conversation.
He's not even the point guard.
ESPN actually put out their ranking for the top 5 point guards, and they have Magic 1, Oscar 2. They got John Stockton 3. They got Steph 4, and Isaiah 5, and then number 6 got Chris Paul.
6, Chris Paul.
Disrespected trash J. Kidd.
They disrespected J. Kidd. I would like to say that whoever took the time to do that stat. Now, the 4 of us are all late 30-something, early 40-something married men. and we are happily married. But, yo, if you're single and you took that stat, you don't have sex enough.
You counting dribbles?
I just want to say, yeah, if you're counting dribbles, you don't have enough sex. And your girlfriend is ugly.
He was clicking it every time he went tween.
Yo, you don't have enough sex.
You don't have none. All right. So, real quick, man, before we move on, y'all know the drill. Y'all can check out our website at warroomsports.com. While you're there, take your time, look around, click on the Contact Us tab. Send us a message about the company, the show, inquire about sponsorship and advertising opportunities, joining the network, anything. For general inquiries, email us at info@warroomsports.com. Make sure you click on the memorabilia tab. Make sure you click on the blog tab to read the latest articles. Gus Griffin dropped something today about them striking down the law about sports gambling. So make sure you check that out. We're going to talk about that a little bit during the show. And look, just make sure you check out everything we got to offer. You can download the free War Room Sports mobile app on Android and iOS. You can go to the chat room right now during the show, which is blogtalkradio.com/The War Room to get into the JW Philly Realty chat room and hold it down with the homie Skyview1. To do that, all you got to do is sign up for a free profile on Blog Talk Radio if you don't have one, or if you don't want one, you can sign it to your Facebook and Twitter accounts. But while you're there, just make sure you click follow because that'll get you updates. We're going to be reading posts from all of our social media platforms during the show. But if you want to call in and speak with us, we see we got a couple people waiting on the line. Thanks for your patience. We'll get with you in a minute. You can dial a Digital Extreme Tech hotline at numbers 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. We're going to talk about what happened this week while y'all were on the grind. We're going to do that and some birthday shout-outs. As soon as we finish that, we're going to get to the phone line. So if you're on there and you're waiting, just hang tight, and we will get to you. So while you were on the grind, is brought to you by the wonderful, illustrious Sports the Book, written by War Room Sports' own Jimmy the Blueprint Williams. What's up, Jim? You got tired of reading the same old sports bull jive? Look, make sure you pick up your copy of Sports. Smart people only read the sports. Look, when you read this book, you might get a whole new perspective on the way you argue sports. You might get a whole new perspective on life because a lot of y'all dudes need daddies, but that's a different story. But, this whole GOAT argument that we have every single day, every time LeBron makes a shot or every time LeBron misses a shot, read Sports the Book, and you might get a whole new perspective and figure and just realize that you're wasting your time in arguments like that. Anyway, just go to sportsthebook.com or get your copy from our website, warroomsports.com. But whatever you do, just make sure you don't miss that movement. All right.
I just
crazy stuff.
I want to take shots at Adam Silver to read the book.
Oh, that.
No, I want to shout at Adam Silver for the book because that whole thing they're doing now with the G League. Yeah, that was written about Sports Book a long time ago. So shout out to Silver for taking my idea.
Check it out. You're gonna see a lot of stuff. And remember, when you're reading it, make sure you check the trademarks and the date, the publishing date, and all that kind of stuff. So this stuff wasn't written after some of these things were implemented. Make sure you know where you heard it first, even if you read it second.
We are the originators.
All right, so
Jimmy is the originator.
Lucas Glover. This is a crazy story. He had a pretty bad day at the Players' Championship. He did not make the cut. But when he got back home, he was physically attacked by his wife. I don't know if he's that mad when my man don't make the cut and he don't come home with that check. But he was physically attacked by his wife. I'm trying to pull the story back up so I can give the details.
Damn, Cap. That's like Cap Rooney.
Yeah, he bombed it. Yeah, his wife was crazy like that too. But they said Krista Glover, 36, she was arrested by St. Johns County Sheriff's deputies at Sawgrass, TPC, and Ponte Vedra Phaedra Beach and charged with domestic battery and resisting arrest. So she was about that life with the police as well. So after he missed the secondary cuts, she greeted him at home with a shower of insults and allegedly a beatdown. Like, she put her hands on him. There must have been some promises made. Like, seriously, like, you bring home.
Yo, my man didn't even want to play golf.
Maybe, we can get a pool put in or something. There was some promises made, because I don't see why, you miss a cut on one tournament and she's this irate about it. So like, either some promises were made or there was something on the line, like where they needed the money and they figure, okay, you're a good golfer. You're good enough to make the cut. Once you make the cut, if you place, you get this amount of money. And he didn't get it there, so she went in his mouth and came home.
I'm just gonna make the assumption that it's about something totally separate.
And this was in front of their two children.
Like maybe he had something else came out that had to do with golf. Yo, that's ballistic,
let me add, Jim. This was in front of their two underage children and dude's mom. So she lit him up in front of everybody. Now, he told the authorities that these type of fights aren't unusual. He described how when he, quote, plays a bad round of golf, she proceeds to start an altercation with him and telling him how he's a loser and a PUSSY and how he needs to fire everyone and he better win or she and the kids would leave him and he would never see his kids again. Yo, what did you
first off, and my thing, crazy like that doesn't come out of the blue. So she's big crazy like that. He's put up with it. So that leads me to one conclusion. You already know what that is. Yo, it got to be amazing. Sunshine. That's all I'm saying. Sunshine. That's all I'm going to say. Like, that's the only conclusion you can draw. Like, if this happens all the time and you put up with that, you put up with that for a reason.
The plot thickens. The plot thickens. He had multiple lacerations to his right arm, and his mom had lacerations on her arms and blood on her clothes as well. So she probably tried to stop her from beating her son down, and she got a little bit of that medicine as well. Yeah. Chick's crazy. She's Tommy from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
Yo, Tommy gotta have that fire.
Yeah, she got that fire. We already know that Erica Mena got that fire. So Michigan State has settled, and they're going to pay $500 million to the survivors of Larry Nassar's sexual abuse. And this is believed to be the largest settlement ever in a sexual misconduct case involving a university. So, this settlement was more than whatever they settled the Sandusky case for at Penn State. So the attorneys are representing 332 claimants, and they agreed to this settlement. The agreement stipulates that $425 million will be distributed to claimants who are currently part of the lawsuits, and then an allocator will determine how much each person will receive. The remaining $75 million will be held in reserve for 2 years in the event that others come forward and make claims about Nassar's abuse. I'm about to call Michigan State and say that boy touched me when I was there visiting. Yo, they're holding $75 million for people who haven't even spoken up yet.
That's because they know already. That means they got an idea.
Y'all know how many phone calls they gonna get about somebody else saying that dude touched them?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And somebody do the math. I don't even have my calculator out. Let's just say 425 if they've split it evenly between 332 people. How much money is each person going to get? Somebody do that math, and I'll go to the next story. Robinson Cano was busted for using an illegal substance, and he will miss the next 80 games. Now, that's all well and good. We know what the drug bans are these days. But the big thing with him, by most quote-unquote objective measures, a lot of people think his resume and his numbers are gaudy enough to get him into the Hall of Fame. But now that he has this on his resume, and what they're doing to people like Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, who are some of the best at their position, or some of the best period that the game has ever seen, do y'all think that this little piece of news is going to basically shatter Cano's chances of getting into the Hall of Fame?
Has to. It has to. Because, I mean, like you just said, look what he's doing. I mean, as good as he is, he ain't Barry Bonds. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's no way. It has to.
And what he used was the diuretic furosemide, which could be used as a masking agent to conceal PED use. So, you know, a lot of these times in these tests, they don't actually catch you with the actual PED, but, you know, when you have a masking agent, you get popped for that as well because it's actually on the ban list. I got a text from somebody that's saying that we were a little choppy. If anybody else hears that, let us know on this was like 20 minutes ago, though, so I don't know.
Okay. Yo, Dev, I got some breaking news. It's only breaking news here, though. What's it called? It made a season to drop. That's all.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said the breaking news is only breaking news here, and maybe on Tissue with the Tape that show the toys that made us. Yo, season 2 about to drop, though.
Boom. Boom.
That's only news here, though. Like, and for those you go to Netflix and get the toys that made us higher. Anyway.
All right. So this is the greatest story of the week right here, in my opinion. And I'm not talking about Robinson Cano. I'm talking about the next one. I do believe as well that it's going to hurt his chances a little bit because if they're being consistent, then we think it has to, right? Let me check to see if Casey Mack, because he's a big baseball head, I was just going ahead to see if he had anything to say about that. He is typing. All right. And he said he hears us fine. So, Casey Mack, you think Robinson Cano, even though he may have the resume for it, you think his Hall of Fame chances have been shot? And he said if A-Rod gets in, then there's a chance. Yeah, that's true. But if any of these dudes get in and Bonds and Clemens aren't in, then everybody's being really hypocritical in this whole situation. All right, but here's the greatest story of the week in any sport. A 25-year-old man was arrested after allegedly posing as a Hurricane Harvey evacuee and enrolling as a freshman at a Dallas ISD high school. Now, the reason why this has become a big deal is because this guy, Sidney Bouvier Gilstrap Portley, I don't know why he has 16 names, he enrolled in Hillcrest High after enrolling in the Skyline High, and Doc Bayon would know all of this because these are Dallas ISD high schools. I guess he enrolled in the first school and then re-enrolled in this other school under the name Rashawn Richardson. Like I said, he claimed to be a victim displaced by Hurricane Harvey, which was the hurricane that hit Houston back in August. Not only did he enroll in high school, he did this so he could play high school basketball. So there have been tweets about this guy lately because in a recent game, he put up 32 points, 16 rebounds, and they made sure they told you, like, man, this same kid about a week ago put 40 points up on the number 1 high school team in the nation. His real former high school basketball coach in Houston, Texas, saw him playing in a game. I don't know if he just saw him in the paper or saw him, whatever, but he saw that he was playing on his team, and he dropped dime on him to let people know that he coached him in high school years ago. Dude was getting his numbers. And I ain't gonna front. And I know y'all have. Like, there have been times when I was around his age thinking to myself, like, man, with everything I know now, plus the physical ability that I still have, if I was to play in high school basketball now, man, I'd be on my way for a D1 scholarship, maybe onto the league. This dude went out and tried to really make it happen. At 25 years old, he was out there giving the high school students the business. But this is the question I have for you guys before you even give me your opinion. Why the hell did he enroll as a freshman? He was going to try to do this for 4 years. Well, he was going to try to, like, break school records for scoring or something. He was trying to be the greatest high school player in this school history. Yo, what did y'all think when y'all saw that?
Yo, first off, this boy is both trash and a legend at the same time. Like,
he's Zach Morris.
You trash because you. Yo. Zach Morris is trash. Listen, you trash because you try to be a freshman and try to do this for 4 years. And I'm just going to sit here and put up my prayer hand.
When as a junior,
yeah. Birdman hand rub. I'm just hoping that you spend quality time with those cheerleaders out there. That's what I'm hoping with, man. Because you're a grown man at this point. And
R. Kelly.
Numbers like that in
high
school, people think
he was a basketball star, yo.
You know what come with that.
Yeah,
you know what
he was in there yamming up. So they're gonna find out at some point that not only
like that. Yo, let me
is he committing fraud.
High school, now it's topped up. My fault.
Yeah. So
my point is
they're gonna find out at some point that your man is a pedophile as well.
Yo, but he's also a legend at the same time. He's trash and he's a legend. You're a legend because because you did that. You took it a bit too far. It's like, it's like Eddie Murphy said, somebody wrote he wanted to be a cowboy. But it's classified as a senior, got off 1 year and tried to, see what happened. I mean, these dudes declassifying anyway. You don't know how old anybody is. And then, All
right. So, so this is this is crazy, but this was the most entertaining story that I've seen all week because I can't sit here in front like I've never had those thoughts. But, I wasn't going to drop what I was doing and actually try to live it out. I don't know what he had going on, but, he posed as an evacuee. Obviously, he was really from Houston because his Houston, former high school basketball coach was the one who dropped dime on him. So
I got a lot of
the first part of the story might be true.
Like, I wonder, because my thing is, like, so you've been there before, so, like, was his GP have been amazing too.
Right. He stayed eligible. I mean, the work probably was easy for him. He's going to. I mean, but I go to school now. I still ain't gonna pass algebra, so I give him his props. I give him his props.
You got beef with algebra.
Right. I still got beef with algebra all these years later. All right. So let's get some birthday shout outs and then we can hit these phone lines. I think the homie Tobias is back, so we gotta get to him. I see the homie Rob, Martin Cali. We're going to get to y'all. We see you. We just had to talk about our 25-year-old homie doing his thing for the Dallas ISD school
You
district.
the real MVP.
Out there trying to be a legend on these basketball courts. But, Jimmy, who's having a birthday today in the world of sports?
Yes, sir. It's time to talk about who's having a birthday, as we always do about this time. So
I got to take a line from Ernie Johnson. Our birthday segment has been unsullied by sponsorship for the past 2 months.
Give us a new birthday sponsor. Because some of our sponsors don't like our content because we go there. But anyway, birthday. Matt Ryan is turning 33
birthdays is always brought to you by God.
Yo,
no doubt.
Yo, Allah. Shout out Allah. Yo, Matt Ryan is turning 33. Very wealthy, Matt Ryan. Channing Frye is turning 35. Tony Parker, who nobody mentioned, one of their top guards for good reasons, is turning 36. Jose Gillian is turning 52. What we got here? Hubert Davis.
Jimmy didn't try the Spanish accent at all in boy name.
No, not
Jose
at all. Gillian. I call him Gillian. I ain't gonna go on a yesterday. No, let me shut up. Yo,
I know one of his conquests. One of his European conquests from when he was here in town in Washington. Shout out to Jose Gillian.
Okay. You share? Anyway, Hubert Davis turns 48. Craig Erickson turns 49. The legend Danny Manning turns 52. John Cat.
Greatest center in Hawks history.
Yo, John Koncak is the reason for a lot of what happened in the NBA in terms. People forget about the contract he got, and the contract he got back then was very controversial.
Yeah.
Now it's laughable. Anyway, and the legend Sugar Leonard turned 62.
Yo, we got to give a
big
shout out. Hold on, Benjamin. We got to give one more shout out to one of our biggest supporters. Used to be a War Room Sports writer. I think he put his pen down a long time ago. He need to pick his pen back up. But shout out to the homie who's in the War Room Sports Game Time group rapping right now, KC Max 38, a.k.a. a.k.a. Dallas, Kansas City at the same time.
A.k.a. LeVar Ball's little nephew.
Happy born day, KC Mack, and thanks for all your support over these years.
Ball brother.
Get that pen back up, man. Get back on the scene.
Dog, I realize the fact that on Facebook anymore, I don't be knowing nobody, but Facebook like got me spoiled where family like yo.
I know, right?
Birthday, oh, okay.
Like, oh, you remember? You're like, yeah.
How can I forget your birthday?
What you mean?
Oh, we family.
I got to export my Facebook birthday to my Gmail calendar. You can't do that. Anyway, shout out to all the folks on their birthday week. You know what I'm saying? From the war room.
All right. Like I said, check out our website at warroomsports.com. If you want to call in and speak with us, we're about to get into some more NBA talk right after we hit these phone lines. If you want to call in and speak with us on these phone lines, Digital Extreme Tech hotline is open 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening on your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. And speaking of Digital Extreme Technologies, I'll do that read real quick, Jim, just so we can get to these phone lines. This NBA rap we're going to talk about is brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies. Do you or your business need a custom website? Well, for dynamic, professional, and most of all, affordable custom website solutions, you need Digital Extreme Technologies. No need to break the bank for an effective online presence. We know you open a business, you got a lot of expenses, you got a lot of other stuff to worry about, but you have to be online. You have to have a presence. And if you go to Digital Extreme Technology, you can fit that right into your startup budget. Top quality, results-driven websites at incredibly affordable prices. And look, financing options are even available, so you don't have an excuse. You can put something on it, and you can pay on it monthly. Visit digitalextremetech.com or call 267-205-4203. And for discounted rates, be sure to tell them that the homies over at War Room Sports sent you on down. You're the next contestant on the website is right. All right, we're going to get to these to this phone line real quick. Yes, sir. Where is Curtis Blow? All right, so we go to the phone. We got the homie Tobias calling back in from over in Arizona, where the Phoenix Suns got the first pick in the NBA draft. What up, Tobias? Roll damn Tide.
Roll down. Don't give a damn about the Suns getting number 1 pick. The Bulls tank for nothing. I can't even cuss right now. I know you're a PG radio show. But these goons going to do all this tanking, get rid of all these players, and you trade Jimmy Butler for a light-skinned dude that all he does is jump. Marking is nice.
And everybody,
and Chris Dunn, who's still waiting to him.
That, he'll light one of his teams up in a minute. But I keep trying to tell Tobias, like, every team that's ain't tanking. That's a new thing there.
Hey.
Like, but no, the Bulls didn't trade like everybody and their mama. They didn't really have a choice.
Don't worry.
They got rid of Jimmy. So yeah, they were ready to lose. And
hey.
So what are you
thinking
about?
Dude that can jump. What does he do well? All he does is jump. Whoopee. But anyway.
And he had an injury.
Yeah, we lucked to the marketing. But we already know what they're going to do this draft. They're going to look for the 3 or 4 year college player who's a winner, who does nothing in the pros, or like Denzel Valentine, who couldn't outrun centers in the combine. But anyway, I got that off my chest.
Tell them how you mad, son.
Hey, I'm watching the playoffs, right? And the thing is, it's like what kills me. Like I'm watching Cleveland, right? Boston is take away all this stuff, right? Look at how tough Boston is. Look at how they diving for loose balls, rotations, moving the ball. They going in, they going for it. And Cleveland does a lot of standing around, looking around like we good. We too cool for school. And I think
privileged,
that,
man. When was the last time they had to work to get to the finals? Privileged.
And you know what? And I think, and this is what people, when they criticize LeBron, they don't look nuanced. A lot of times, yeah, you may know your team ain't going to win. And I compare it to, let's say, Allen Iverson, for example. There were plenty of times his teams were outmanned. Knew they weren't going to win. But did he show that on the court, or he set the tone by laying out, setting the tone, saying, hey, if we're going to lose, we're going to take a chunk of flesh with them. Now it's like, hey, I'm getting mine.
We're talking about practice, not a game.
Yeah. And you know, it kills me. Like, hold on, I'll say this real quick. In February, all we heard was Rodney Hood and Jordan Clarkson is great. They were talking all this mess, but now they hate them now. Make up their mind.
That's they won.
You know what? It's funny because you just talked about, like, I just put something together because you are low key, but I'm gonna call it low key because you never admit to it. You're a big LeBron hater, by the way. And not that I'm taking up for LeBron, but you are a LeBron hater. I just put it together. It's because you're a Bulls fan, and you're one of these people that's going to like go crazy over the 10-hour documentary. That's what it all boils down to.
No, it's that. I'm not gonna channel Steve. I thought Stephen A. said something. It's like it's like that's the one athlete. If you're remotely critical, not you per se, people think you're a hater. And I'm like, look, I say the man is great. He's the best player on the planet. But it's like, dude. But my thing is, it's like, dude.
You kind of got to admit that at this point.
Yeah,
if you don't say
Willie
G doesn't.
Yeah, we know that for 8 to 10 years. But here's the thing, though. And it's like people talk about, like, oh, you go. It's like, I think now, like, let's say free agency, for example. I think there's only certain teams that can handle him. And like say people say Philly, but here's the thing that people don't factor in. Are those young guys ready for that media circus every game? Are they ready to be like, hey, if they don't win, it's your fault? It's like there's a lot of things there. And are those guys ready? But Kevin Love can handle it. But like Chris Bosh really didn't like it. So that's some things out there that I think people got to look at. Actually, he had a nervous breakdown. But you know, even like let's look at the Warriors, for example. Go ahead.
Good. The Warriors what?
Oh, I'm sorry, like the Warriors, for example. Everyone when they talk about, if they go against this mythological, like hypothetically a great team, well, what are they gonna do about Steph? What are they gonna do about Kevin Durant? Well, Cleveland gave the blueprint a couple of years ago. He's just doing it now. You may not be able to lay him out with an elbow, but you make him work on defense. You run him off screens. You make him work on D. You make him run, like if whenever he moves, someone jams him up a little bit. And I think that's the thing that may end up holding him back. Because Steph, he's always been nicked up, and right now he's trying to get back into shape and back into a rhythm in the playoffs. Now I still think they'll beat Houston, but after a while, he gonna get hurt and may not come back. But then again, you got Klay Thompson, who could be stupid enough to take a $70 million discount. But hey, what do I know?
Yeah, I mean.
All right, so. Oh no, I was just gonna ask you, give me a name. Who do you think the Bulls are gonna take at that pick?
Whoever went to college 4 years and did well in the tournament. That's what they always pick. Hey, or my bet, or also the best available white guy with no hops and no foot and 2 lead feet, like Doug McDermott. Yes, we could have had Gary Harris, who's a decent player. But no, we gotta get Doug McDermott. Who are you playing for now? The Beijing Bengals? Who?
McBuckets. Why are you hating on McBuckets?
Hey, McBuckets can't get a mixed shot off.
All right.
Go. Hey, but you know what? I'll say this also. before I go. Like the NBA, for example, it's like that J.R. Smith play. He should be suspended right now. He could have really hurt Al Horford that night. And it's like I see guys get suspended for way less. And the thing that kills me is that, like, you watching this stuff, and it shows how great a coach Brad Stevens is. Because
Al Horford
that team has
he'd be hurt right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that team has no business being in the conference final.
Yo, he's trying to slander J.R. Smith, but what that really is LeBron slander, yo.
Hey, you know what? I'll say this though.
I'm not even like LeBron's biggest fan in terms of his own court stuff, but y'all be making me take up for the Bulls. Y'all be back pocket, man.
Hey, all I know is that when I saw J.R. Smith push Al Horford, I was waiting for John Chain in the goon.
Jimmy a closet LeBron fan because LeBron reminded him of Magic.
No, Magic ain't no athleticism like that. I'm not a closet LeBron fan at all.
Hey, Jimmy hoping he goes to the Lakers.
Off the court. You damn right I want him to go. Listen, like I told you before, like it's one of those things. I understand everything that comes with that, but he's the best player. You can't say no to the best player on your team for nothing. You can't say no.
Getting told a bit.
You know what? I also hate it's like every time. I think like maybe because of 24-hour news cycle, they kind of made I'm tired of hearing every time like LeBron hits a shot. Well, he did this for everybody else, or this, or Michael Jordan never did this, or Magic never did this. And I'm like, can we just enjoy the guy in the era? Because the game was totally different in these eras. Like you didn't have a reliance on a 3-point shot like
cut
you
the
do
TV
now.
up, man. Listen,
the stats do get a little crazy. The stats get a little crazy. We talked about it last week. How they his fadeaways.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. You got 5 different outlets trying to cover the same sport 24/7. So cut it off.
They're trying to one up each other. That's why everybody's hiring.
I just go on the internet.
People text me all day long. People text me every day. Oh, did you see what Steve said? Did you see what Nick Wright said? I'm like, no, I didn't. I didn't. No. I don't need to hear them, dude.
Don't worry. If you watch sports TV right now, they make up another Michael Jordan debate. Talk about Dez Bryant again. I don't know why they keep talking about Dez Bryant like his dudes. I don't know.
Man,
that's one of the frustrations of anything.
A lot of people aren't watching. It's the reason why Disney's trying to figure out who they can unload ESPN, because like a lot of people are turning away from it.
Because here's the thing. I'll say this before I go. I'll say this before I go, guys. I'll say this before I go. Hey, I just want to tell LeBron, hey, Nick Saban, the barbershop new episode's coming up next week, guys. Roll Tide.
All right, man. His parting shot. All right, so let's go to. We got the homie Rob out in Cali. We haven't talked to him in a couple of weeks. What up, Rob? What's going on,
Rob? What's up, Greg? What's up, man? It's your boy. What's good, man? It's your boy Rob, a.k.a., I got the fire like hot sauce. Yo, a.k.a., Summertime Funk, a.k.a., the dude who hacked my Instagram account, man. Your mouth should have swallowed you. But anyways, man, what's up, man? What's good?
Hey, Rob, somebody hacked a.k.a., because I just got an email.
A Jimmy Levert fan.
I just got an email giving me a reset code for my Facebook page. I'm like, I didn't ask for a reset for my password. So either I'm getting hacked or it's my wife. But shout out to her if it's her.
Yeah. The latter would be worse.
Yeah, if it was her, I don't think she's going to be out there trying to get reset code. So I must be getting hacked. I don't know. Anyway, what's going on, good bro?
What's up, man? What's up, man? It's been a while. There's a lot of things that went past. We can't talk about too much about the past. I will say this, shout out to David Akers. I didn't know you had it in you. You know what I'm saying? If the Cowboys didn't go to Super Bowl since Tupac was alive, because I used to live in New York City going to PS 273. Unlike Dev and Jimmy, I wasn't forced to go to a private black school. So I don't know why a private black elementary school has to be private. But anyways, man, that's just me. But also shout out to Tobias.
Shooting the Ivy
shout
League.
to Tobias. Shout to Tobias. Tobias been the best of both worlds, man. Yo, I've been trying to call him out to do a podcast. He hasn't replied my messages. I'll call you out, Tobias, man. Come on. You talk about black wealth and stuff, put your money where your mouth is. Let's do this, man. Come on.
Okay. We'll pass on the message if he ain't still listening. That's what's up. Podcast in the making. It's going to be hilarious.
But I'm tired of this whole LeBron conversation. It's nauseating. I mean, I don't understand why. I mean, people forget, like, when somebody becomes like a defensive player of the year in the MVP, that says something. I mean, what is up with this bronze sexuality, this bronze spring, I should say. I think that's a good word. You can say bronze spring. It's just like everybody, and nobody's even mentioning Kobe, and the Kobe fans even knew their place when it came to the conversation. Now, what is going on, man?
Hey, it's bronze time. The league, everybody's excited. Just like, we were excited when Michael Jordan was going through his run. I'm not saying that to say that I don't agree. But when I say it's nauseating, I'm not talking about just the excitement for LeBron. He's earned that. What's killing me, and it's not because I'm from that generation. It's not because I think Mike is better and all that kind of stuff. What kills me is everything he does, good or bad, Michael Jordan has to be brought up. You know what I'm saying? And it's gotten to the point where people are like really disrespecting Michael Jordan now because, you got the younger people, and some people that's actually our age who feel that this is a better era of basketball and the people back in the 90s couldn't hang right now. So, but when you go into this LeBron-Michael Jordan argument, and this is on both sides, like, everybody has to tear the other guy down to appreciate what the other guy is doing. And I just don't – I refuse to do that anymore for either side. So, I just stay out of the conversation. I just mediate the conversations at these points if they happen – at this point, if they happen on our page. Because a lot of people come into these conversations giving out, like, BS that you're supposed to believe are facts. And I basically, I'm the fact checker at this point. But I can't crap on Jordan to big up LeBron and crap on LeBron to big up Jordan.
I mean, that one dude on the page be bent over backwards for LeBron, man. I mean, people forget, like, Wilt Chamberlain said it best about Jordan. Wilt Chamberlain said best about Jordan. He said,
"No, he ain't bending over backwards. He's bending over forwards."
Or kneeling. But, anyways, man, he said that, Wilt Chamberlain said that dudes in the NBA, before he said dudes in the NBA should be getting parts of their checks to Michael Jordan because he was, I mean, people forget, man. I mean, can LeBron at 38 years old, 39, drop 50? I want to see that. But you're saying people in the NBA, like, LeBron doesn't disrespect Michael Jordan. It's just the LeBron stans who disrespect Michael Jordan. So we can't put that on him. I'm pretty sure LeBron knows everything he's doing has been made possible because of what Michael Jordan did as a businessman. Even if he wasn't as business savvy as to the level when LeBron took it, he just knew that he had the type of stardom where he could make the kind of money that he made. LeBron knows that he has the stardom, and like Jimmy said last week, he put the team around him to be able to, force people's hands on some of these moves, some of these deals, and a lot of this money that they're making. Whereas I think in Michael Jordan's day, he just sat back and just let the companies do what they did because he was such a big star. So, yeah, I'm sure he knows that he's standing on the shoulders of Mike and to another degree Magic, a little later, after his career, as far as what they're able to do right now. So it's not him, it's his fans. I mean, because my brother LeBron sexual, so I get all the time. But not only that, it's also people forget, and this is why I say he won't go to the Lakers.
What you mean?
It's because he won't go to the Lakers because LeBron like like B. Austin said, I always call B. Austin. He said he's a GM, he's the coach, he's the
Yo. Can y'all hear Rob, or is it me?
Magic is the HNI school, okay? You know, in LA, he wants to make the Lakers great again, and also he wants to commit.
Keep talking about.
Can y'all hear Rob?
Huh?
Can y'all hear him?
Yeah, we can't hear nothing you said for the last 2 minutes, beloved.
Yo, and now I hear a phone ringing. Yo, what did you do?
Yo, I think
Yo, who?
kid.
Hey, Rob, man, we're going to have to holler at you, man, because we can't hear you. Yeah, he dropped off. Why is the line ringing? Who's about to answer the phone? What's about to happen here? Yeah, this feels like a skit. And everybody getting quiet, like waiting to see who's going to answer the phone.
No.
I wish their voicemail would hurry up and pick up. Yo, what's going on?
Voicemail. Blog talk is so trash.
Nah, I just muted B. Austin and the phone stopped ringing.
Yo, maybe Austin got kidnapped.
I unmuted him, but I think he dropped off. I don't know what's going on, y'all. I don't know if that was Rob. He on the joint calling people on the three-way. I don't know what just happened. But anyway, man, what's going on in the association, Jim?
Man. Yeah, my fault, good brother. I was muted as well. Kind of get back to our association talk, considering we was rapping about that earlier. First thing I want to talk about is ESPN and Netflix. I mentioned a little bit there. I was considering bias for his LeBron beat, but they're producing a 10-part documentary on Michael Jordan.
Hour apiece, right?
Yeah, a 10-part documentary. And what's wrong?
First of all, can I tell you listeners out there how hype I was when Jimmy gave me this news a few days ago? But it's not what you think, because at the time, we were talking about Michael Jackson maybe a few minutes earlier. So, and you didn't even say MJ, but I was so much in the Michael Jackson mind state. When Jimmy said they're going to make a Michael Jordan documentary, 10 hours, 10 parts, and we were texting. We were in a group chat. So my eyes just saw Michael Jackson, probably because we had just been talking about him. And I got so hyped. Like, I'm here for this. I'm going to sit down and act like I know something about Michael Jackson. I'm going to watch the whole thing. And then nobody even told me. I just realized a little later in the conversation that we were talking about Michael Jordan and not Michael Jackson. And though, I'm here for it, I'm going to watch it. It didn't have the same effect, didn't have the same cash as if it was a 10-part joint on Michael Jackson. But, this is crazy, Jim, because the first thing I thought about once I was on the track and realized what it really was about, whoever's doing this, and Michael Jordan, they said, is 100% on board, so he's probably tired of it too. I think this is like the response, because they're tired of everybody with the LeBron comparisons and, the GOAT arguments and all that kind of stuff. So I think they're about to put out 10 hours of footage as a y'all must have forgot type of moment. Y'all get the same feeling when you read about it?
I mean, yeah, somewhat, but also kind of irritating me because I think it's something that you just hold in the tuck until he's no longer with us. It's not trying to kill off Michael Jordan. But the fact that he's with this means that it's not going to give us a full picture of who Michael Jordan was or who he is. Because, I mean, listen, why would
because they're going to be too afraid to tell the truth.
Yeah, none of us are perfect, and all of us have stuff that you don't want other people to know. So a lot of times you get some of the best bodies that work is when the person is no longer here to, be like, yo, I ain't do that. Like, I ain't have 2 midgets. I mean, stuff like that. You just can't get a good picture of who he really was. Excuse me, little people. But and because I know that your homosexuals out there, that's going to do nothing but that debate up. But the Michael Jordan standards are just as bad as LeBron. Like, the amount of Blumpkin and Richard Ridery and Nikita Cole and that's going to be going on, when this thing comes out, is going to be out of control. Out of control.
The crazy part about it is they said that this, writer, producer, director, they said he was privy to 500 hours of footage to make this. And what's even crazier about the 500 hours of footage, this was all during the final championship season, championship number 6 in 98. So it's like we're going to watch 10 hours, but it's all going to be about one season. So I'm like, if you're going to go for it, why don't, if you're going to spend 10 hours, why don't you whole perspective of his entire life, his entire career? I mean, we've all heard stories ad nauseum, but you would think if you're going to give us 10 hours, then you give us something that we didn't know before. And they might well do that, but it'll be something we didn't know about that season.
Give me that I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be something about that season, more details about that season. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be some tidbits we didn't know. But I'm like, dig deeper. If y'all going to do this now and he's in the position where he is, he's a team owner and all that kind of stuff, take it all the way back. Try to see if you can find some stuff, some tidbits about his life that we didn't know. But I think it's a case of like what you just said, Jimmy. Like, even if they try to do that and he's on board with it, he's going to have a lot of control over what gets said, what gets shown, and what doesn't. So maybe somebody will go back and do something once he's no longer with us. But after a 10-hour documentary with all the other videos that Michael Jordan already has out, at some point it's going to be overkill. And the person who's going to end up having the best documentary once he's dead is not going to get the same amount of eyes that he should and the same amount of attention because people are already going to be tired of, they're going to have Michael Jordan burnout. So I don't know.
Like, what can they really tell us at this point? I mean, we need new information. You know what I'm saying? Like, is Mike here Yanny or is he Laurel? Which one is here? Like, we need to.
Like, did Mike smash Scotty's wife too?
Anyway, man, but with all that being said, all of us are going to watch every minute of it, so we still talking trash.
He said stories about Jordan at this point is like retelling the Bible. We already know that Jesus raised Lazarus.
It's like documentaries and especially since 30 came out, they don't cut their game up. It's well. I sit there and watch a whole hour of I can talk about Raiders jackets, and I mean I can spend 10 hours watching about season 2 hours about a Raiders jacket, yo. So, it's specifically on Netflix, and Netflix is a mean documentary on. They got some like Evil Spot.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we'll check it out when it comes out. All 10 episodes.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. We got about a good 10, 15 minutes left. But I'll get your opinion on the overall.
You got to speak up because you're going in and out a little bit. If you're loud, I'm
damn, Toe.
Yeah, I heard that.
I don't know what's going on. All right, what I'm saying is this, though. We got about 10 to 15 minutes left. Let's talk about this draft real quick. I want to get your opinion on the overall, production. Like, what do you think about the whole production? Like, it's not even the draft at this point. It's just
the lottery.
They made a production out of that.
Right. I think it's overkill, and I noticed it. Maybe did they start it last year, or the year before? But they actually bring some of the people who might be lottery picks there to sit around at the lottery and then get interviewed and all that kind of stuff. I think it's overkill, but you can't tell these leagues that because they make money off of everything they do. So they're going to, look for ways to make a show out of everything. We used to do the lottery at halftime of a playoff game, and it'd take 10 minutes, and it was done. I'm not going to front like that wasn't, boring, and they could have saved that as well. But now to make a whole production out of it, I don't know how I really feel about it, man. All I know is that I'm still of the conspiracy theory that throughout many years, not every year, because they may not have a good reason every year, but I think if you dig deep enough, you probably could find a good reason every year. Because some of these years when I didn't think that there was anything to it, yesterday being one included until I thought a little harder, like, if you dig deep enough, you probably could find a way that the lottery was rigged every single year. But there are some that definitely stand out a little more than others. And you guys, were there in the chat room when Tobias, shout out to him, he stepped in the chat room and talked about how the lottery is rigged. And I'm like, I don't know, dog. Like, who the hell wants to rig the lottery for the Phoenix Suns? And then when you sit back and think about it for a few more minutes, you realize that the top two prospects are, one, a guy who plays for Arizona University, that is, and then another top two prospect is someone overseas that the new coach, who's been hired for about 5-6 days now, somebody that he coached in international basketball. So then you start to wonder, like, damn, like, even for the Phoenix Suns, like, it's their turn for the rigging.
I disagree with that one, just because I feel like the way basketball is now, you can kind of like play the game with everybody that gets picked. I just don't see the benefit of rigging it for Phoenix, and it's like.
But sometimes, Jim, the rig doesn't even.
If I'm not mistaken.
It could just be just throwing them a bone. It might not even be for their future. It could just be, if they pick Ayton from Arizona, okay, we're gonna sell a few more tickets next year. Like the Phoenix gets the number one pick, and the number one prospect just happens to play college ball in that state. Like, it's weird. You might not be able to find a good reason. Like, okay, so what? Is he gonna be a generational talent? He might not be. So what's the big deal? I wouldn't call it a big deal, but it's just so ironic.
Because also, if I'm not mistaken, Phoenix had the highest number one pick, the highest odds out of anybody.
Right.
I think.
But then when you think about that, how many times do teams with the highest odds get the number one pick? But when there's a reason for them to, then.
But everything regresses to the mean eventually. The more times you do it, the more chances that will happen that the team with the number one has the big odds will get it. So as long as the draft goes on, there's always.
But you know how.
But you
know how easy it is to
stop
these conversations, Jim? Why can't they just show us them picking the ping pong balls out of the damn machine?
Yeah, that's true.
They do that every night when it's like hundreds of millions of dollars involved with the lottery. They show us the ping pong balls coming out of the machine. Like, what's so difficult about that? Why they gotta already have it all set up? Why does it has to be the company of Ernst & Young with the suitcase and the briefcase and the handcuff on the briefcase and all the drama?
Because they pay a nice piece of change for that.
So instead of the drama, and you can make a show of that, the ping pong balls flopping around in the joint, you picking them out, and you seeing who really gets these picks. And you don't have to hear anything.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. It's just that, like, I just, like, Phoenix, I just don't see it. Like, if it's the Knicks, I'd have been all with you. Or even the Lakers, or even I just see Phoenix, like.
See, but you keep thinking from a standpoint of, because I wouldn't say this is the most egregious one that I've ever seen. I'm just thinking from a standpoint of throwing them any kind of a bone, whether it's, to get the team a little more.
Why are you throwing them a bone? Like, what? Why are you throwing them a bone? Like, why did like for what?
But that's what I'm trying to say, Jim. The top two prospects have ties to Phoenix. And Phoenix.
What I'm saying is we can play a game with every draft pick, like, because that's just how the world is now. Because of so much access to information, you can kind of connect anybody. The guy goes to Arizona, and the other one, like.
So if they just did the ping pong balls, then we won't be sitting around here connecting these dots. Let me give you some examples. I mean, I know you heard my examples before. Let's take it to. This is not as egregious either. This is Yao Ming. Yao Ming made it his representatives made it very clear Yao Ming will not be coming to the NBA unless he plays in a city that has a very high Asian population. There's not, most major cities have like a Chinatown, stuff like that. So Washington could have been in the mix for Yao Ming. Philly could have been in the mix for Yao Ming. Houston was in the mix for Yao Ming. Houston has a huge Asian population. They just happened to get the number one pick after Yao Ming's representatives made this particular announcement. That's just one. The next year, 2003, the Cavs get the number one pick when the number one prospect is a kid from Akron. You know what I'm saying? A kid a few miles down the street.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that Jimmy is not here for the conspiracy theory.
No, I'm here for all conspiracy.
And then when you talk about,
I just didn't see this one, and it's funny because I know you can connect the dots, and I think it was I read it on it wasn't I think it was Hugh Barker, where a guy wrote the night going into the draft. There was an article that dropped that says, "Here's why you can make the argument for every team in the lottery why it's rigged for them." And he put out a paragraph for each team, and all was like, "Damn, the NBA could rig it for them." So when I read that, I was like, "Well, that's part of the reason why we can do what we're doing now, because you can make an argument literally if the team got the first pick, you could have made an argument for rigging it for them." Anyway, with that being said, I just didn't see it.
I know that's not coming from you. You said you read it, but if you can, give me an example of if somebody else would have got the pick last night, what we could have said about it. Besides, because on a lot of this, I'm not just talking about straight favoritism. Because we can always say that about the Knicks. If the Knicks get the first pick, everybody's always going to say, oh, the league offices in New York, they need the New York Knicks to be back again and all that kind of stuff. We can say the same thing for the Knicks every single year. But with the two top prospects being Ayton and Doncic, however you say his name, Doncic, besides the Suns, who else has a bigger case? Who else has closer ties to those two picks besides these dudes? Phoenix just happened to hire the first foreign-born coach of all time, and he just happened to have coached the number one or number two prospect in the NBA draft. Come on, Jim.
Yeah, but it's not because I don't buy this one. Because my thing is, you're throwing him a bone. For you to throw a bone is what are you throwing Phoenix a bone for? That's the part I can't.
Let me help.
People would ask why they did it.
Yeah. You're not getting it. You're not getting it. Jim is big market. Jim is big market. Jim.
Your team,
so
no matter. Go ahead, I'm not bad, B.
Jim is big market Jim. He's big market Jim. So outside of the connection between Akron and Cleveland, I don't think you're gonna go for the fix in any small market because it's not gonna make sense to you when you could make that fix for a big market.
The league is better off fixing it for so many other teams that had a chance to get that pick from the league's perspective.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. There's ties to it, and this is not every year. I can't, the dude who wrote that article I can't come up with a tie every year. I don't know why the Wizards got it when John Wall was coming out. You know what I'm saying? We might go back and see that, a Kentucky coach got an assistant job that year or something. I don't know. I don't know. But I know, to me, the Yao Ming draft Yao Ming joint was fishy. The LeBron James joint was fishy. The three subsequent Cleveland joints was a little fishy to me because I don't know if y'all remember, but there were people the moment LeBron left that were talking that he'll probably come back to Cleveland one day. So when you look at it that way, and then when it actually started to build, you're like, yo, these dudes might be trying to get Cleveland all these assets to make it attractive for this dude to come back one day. And they kept giving Cleveland the first pick. I don't know why Greg Oden went to Portland. I don't know why Bargnani went to Toronto.
Yeah, but see, the thing about that is, right, and this is the thing.
Derrick Rose going to Chicago? Fishy.
Here's another reason against it being fixed, is that how none of these guys play at the next level. So it's you can say you're getting most assets. Cleveland picked outside Kyrie. Who they picked the one dude from UNLV who is he?
But that's what that's the point I keep trying to make though. I'm not saying that these dudes are surefire assets coming into the league. But after this year, they can't say, Phoenix can't say that they didn't get their turn. Whatever deal they had, they couldn't say that the NBA didn't look out. Like I'm saying, some of these things to me are just like hometown cooking. Like you got a dude from Arizona who's the number one prospect, and Phoenix gets the thing. And if it's not the dude from Arizona, it's the dude that the brand new coach coached in a whole other country. So they could both come in the league and be ass cheeks. That's not the point that I'm making. But they still have ties to the Phoenix Suns right now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't buy
Derrick Rose.
I understand what you're trying to say. I understand what you're trying to say.
Chicago's greatest Suns. They all of a sudden get the first pick. It's just fishy to me. That's all. Now,
I mean, and to me, like that like I remember the one argument he made for Phoenix article, which is like one of the top picks with Arizona. But like, my point is, if we go back not just this year but every year, we can make a conspiracy argument for pretty much anything. If we look deep enough, we can do that. So, but I just don't buy this one. I just don't.
But the point that I'm making to you is I don't have to look deep for this. I'm sure you can if you look deep enough, but you don't have to look deep to see that the number 1 and 2 prospects are from Arizona or coached by their new coach that nobody's ever heard of.
But that's another reason why. That's another reason for me why I wouldn't say it's a conspiracy. So
that's why I'm only picking out the ones where you don't have to look deep.
Statistically speaking, they had a better chance of getting that pick than anybody else anyway.
Which makes it easier to say that's why they did it. Every other year, everybody's bitching like, man, the people with the highest chance never get this, and then But if it fits, then why not? Look at Ben Simmons. That's even
we will never know.
The coach of the Sixers just happened to coach Ben Simmons' dad in Australia. Sixers get the number 1 pick when Ben Simmons has come out. It's fishy. It's fishy, not like, and that's the thing. You might think because I'm saying this is like I'm saying, oh, the NBA cheating. Because we don't know if these guys are going to be anything. I'm just saying it seems like they rig it sometimes for ties. If you have some kind of ties, it's a good story. If nobody's thinking about the fact that they may have done this on purpose, it's a good story that Derrick Rose went to Chicago. It's a great story that LeBron James went to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? It's a great story that Yao Ming
and the NBA. And we do know the NBA sells. The NBA sells storylines. I don't see it. I don't know.
I'm not even looking at it as some egregious because you can only name like one of those dudes that became like generational. And, Yao made it to the Hall of Fame, but there was a lot that went into that as well. So I'm not saying, they just cheating to get them these dudes. I'm just saying when there's ties, you don't have to look deep for this. Like Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, to me, the way the game is in terms of like the community and culture, I think there's probably could have been ties with this guy. Either one is fixed. If we look deep enough, we can find a tie with him probably on 10 other teams too.
Yeah, I bet you if the Kings would have hired him instead of Phoenix, the Kings would have got that first pick.
I know that I know one of the things talking about going into the draft is like people were saying they're going to fix it for Dallas, but they want that market to thing, and then the dude moved up to Dirk Nowitzki, and they had ties family-wise, something crazy like that. Then it's like, all right, so if Dallas would have happened at 1, then they would have like tried to make that the story. Like, with replacing Dirk with another like foreign talent, that whole. So if we look,
we got to get out of here. But this is something that I'll never be able to prove because they made it to the playoffs in 2013, 2014, the Raptors. But in my conspiracy theory, I guarantee you, if the Raptors were a lottery team that year, then Andrew Wiggins would be a Raptor right now because they would have got the first pick.
Yeah.
All right, but we got to get out.
Man, thank you for joining us for a briefing in the world. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, Facebook, Twitter, those in the group chat. We appreciate it. All the calls got in. We appreciate those that get to. We apologize. Time has run out. Tune in next week live right here on demand as we catch up on everything around the world of sports. That's the NBA playoffs. So until then, enjoy your weekend. And we'll see you right back here. Catch everything on social media, our webcast, our blogs. The entire experience can be found at warroomsports.com. Also, get my book, Force the Book. You can get that at forcethebook.com or right at warroomsports.com, the hub. So until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast, war against ignorance, and we'll see you champs on top.
know the blueprint. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Doc Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop scholars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC, royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, PJ, Shot Back, City Austin. I'm shot. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.